Hey guys, so I'm going to walk you through how to start your Works Cited page. So this is the Purdue University Writing Center, al.purdue.edu. They have some of the best resources, I think, for writing. All universities have writing labs. They spend a lot of money on them. And PhD students and grad students work there, and that's how they earn their keep and everything else. So there's some good stuff in here. So basic rules: your works cited is gonna start on a separate page at the end of your essay. It's gonna have the same 1-inch margins, same last name, page number, etc. So going over here to Skylar's essay, we're gonna scroll to the bottom. Right here, this is the very last paragraph, and we're going to insert a page break. This is a much more efficient way of doing this so that you don't have to like tab back down. If you end up adding to it, it will always start on a new page. Okay, check, got that. Next, label the works cited. Works cited. No bolds, whoops, cited. No italics, just the word centered. Now, this is a good reminder. It did say, make sure we have 1-inch margins. Let's check that. Do we have 1-inch margins? And if you don't know how to do that, maybe I can show this really fast. Page setup. Yep, they're all here. 1, 1, 1, 1. We're great. Perfect. Check, check. It's always good to check. All right. Now, only the title should be centered. The citation entries themselves should be aligned with the left margin. So double space all citations, do not skip between entries. So with that, what they're telling you, whoa, it disappeared. That's funny. Okay, works cited. Okay, now we're going to turn off our center and we're going to have our first entry. Now, you don't have to alphabet these all at once. You can do it as you go. So Jane Eyre. Oh, wait a minute. That's the book title, not who wrote it. Who wrote it? Bronte Charlotte. Okay, Jane Eyre, and we'll keep going that. But let's say my next one was Kipling. I'm not going to put these all in there. I'm just going to show you what it's talking about. And who's another person we talked about? Tennyson and Alvarez. All right. So blah, blah, blah. Oops. Okay. All right. So we've got those. What it's saying is they don't want you to actually have another space in between these because you're going to have all this additional text that's going to come after here, right? Like probably 2 or 3 lines, probably 2 lines. Don't add another enter down. It's just regular double spaced. Also, it looks like this is indenting for some reason. I don't want it to yet. Okay. All right. So do not skip between entries. Indent the second and subsequent lines of the citation by 0.5 inches to create a hanging indent. All right. So it's aligned. You want the first part to be aligned. And then as I keep typing, oh, it's not gonna let me hold down the key. That's super fun. Thank you, Max. All right, pretend this is all like fancy words and the right stuff. We'll get it in there here in just a minute. All right, here we go. So they want you to indent this, okay? So thank you. All devices are a little bit different. All programs are a little different. My program won't let me indent until I hit enter, and then I can indent, okay? Most indents are already set up as a 0.5, and so if you look here, here's 0. That's 0.5, that's half. See this little blue line? That's showing you that's half. And then I would continue my information. Okay, so those are going to look the same all the way down. Bronte's all the way to the side, the far, far left side, and then you've got that hanging indent. Okay, all right. List page numbers of sources efficiently when needed. If you refer to a journal article that appeared on pages 225 through 250, list the page numbers on your works cited pages as 225 through 50. So efficiently means you don't have to repeat that 2 of the 200. MLA style indicates that you should omit the first sets of repeated digits. That's what it's talking about here. So that's just explaining. So 225 and 250, you omit the 2 from the 250, and it's 225 to 50. If the expert spans multiple pages, use PP. Note the MLA style uses a hyphen in a span of pages. All right, I'm not going to be that specific with you guys. This is just to get you started. So if you cite Bronte multiple times, don't worry about the page numbers, right? Just put Charlotte Bronte, Jane Eyre, and the other information. Don't worry about getting pages 1 through 7 and 6 through 12. And well, that doesn't make sense. 1 through 7 and 22 through 55 and 173 through 223. Just put Charlotte Bronte, Jane Eyre. If you do cite it only once and you only have one page number to do, sure, put that on there. Okay, not a big deal. If only one page of a print source is used, mark with the abbreviation P before the page number, page 157. So that's what I'm saying. If you're using a span of pages, etc. Okay. Let's see if there's scroll down here and see if there's an example. This is the best part, is where there's examples. So keep scrolling and we'll look for examples. So give me just a second. All right, so I'm not going to worry super much about those page numbers. If you want to figure that out, go for it. You will have to figure it out when you do academic writing at the college level. You don't have to worry about that right now. If you are citing an article or publication that was originally issued in print form, but then you retrieve from an online database, you should type the online database name in italics. You do not need to provide a subscription information in addition to the database name. So if you reference Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte online instead of a physical book, then you would want to put that in here, not the book information. Okay. So again, whatever you looked at. For online sources, you should include a location to show readers where you found the source. So many scholarly databases use a DOI. Use a DOI in your citation if you can. Otherwise, use HTTP. So we're not worried about DOIs. We're worried about HTTP : // Okay. All works cited entries end with a period. So we know you're done because you put a period at the end. Okay. All right. So these are some new things. Excuse me. We're going to skip that. We're not doing an annotated bibliography. We're just doing the works cited. Okay. Sorry, I'm just scrolling. I'm reading real quick. Okay. Capitalize each word in the titles of articles, books, etc., but do not capitalize articles, the, and an. Okay. Prepositions or conjunctions unless the one is the first word of the subtitle. So Gone with the Wind, right? With the is not capitalized. The Art of War. The is capitalized because it's first. There is nothing to lose, right? Use italics instead of underlining for titles of larger works. So books and magazines need to be in italics, and quotation marks for titles of shorter works and poems. Cool. So we can come down to italics for books and magazines. So Jane Eyre is going to be in italics. Great. And Kipling, Rudyard, period. If, what did it say? I think it said quotes. Okay. Listing authors' names. Entries are listed alphabetically by the author's name or the entire edited collection editor's name. So for example, if I got Rudyard Kipling's and Tennyson out of a book that I happen to have called, British Literature 3rd edition, right? That's what I would put here, or I would put the editors here, and the editor's probably like Stephen Clare. So put Clare, Stephen, okay, period, italic, British, I think it's the Longman Literature, Longman British Literature Anthology. Right. And if that's where I got if from, then I would put that, and I would need to put the page numbers in there. Also, when I went up to cite it, I would put Clare. So where did we have Kipling? I would put Clare here because I got it out of an anthology, right? But I didn't. So I got it off the internet. Okay, so that's just to show you what that might look like. Authors' names are written last name first, then the first name, then the middle name or middle initial. So David M. Levy. Okay. Do not list titles or degrees with names. If the book author says John Big Brain PhD, you simply put Big Brain, John. But you would include juniors or first and seconds like Martin Luther King Jr. That shows you there. So now sometimes books are written by more than one author. Sometimes a book will write you'll cite an author more than once from different books. So here's Kenneth Burke. He's written a lot of stuff. So we have a grammar of motives. Instead of writing his name again, we do the 3 dashes, and then a rhetoric of motives. Okay. When an author or collection editor appears both as the sole author of a text and the first author of a group, list sole author entries first. So this is not going to apply to you, but we're just kind of going through here. If there's not a known author, then you cite the name of the title. Okay. And then in your parenthetical citation, you would use a shorter citation. So let's say there was this book called Amazing Boring Postcards of All Time. Okay. And so you would, come on, internet, all right, that you got some rando quote from. I don't have an author for it, so I'm going to put Amazing Boring Postcards of All Time. That's the name of the book, right? So I'm going to choose a shortened version. And just to be cheeky, I'm going to put boring. Okay. And so then up here, let's say, you know, I don't know, this community's blah, blah, blah. That's actually something from this weirdo book. Then I would write boring right there, because that's where I got it from. Okay. Instead of the whole title when you don't know the author. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. Okay. All right. What else do we got? Moving on. So pseudonym and stage names. So like the real guy that wrote, gosh, the thing about the rabbit, crap. Well, Alice in Wonderland. His real name was Charles Dodgson, but he went by Lewis Carroll. And that's what everyone knows him by. So you would put him in as Carroll, Lewis, not Dodgson, Charles. And that gives you some more information there. So those are kind of like the basic instructions about how to do your MLA Works Cited Page. If you want, like, okay, books. So you click on this over here at the site, it's going to give you much more information about books and examples. Okay. So here's the general format for any citation. It's kind of long. Books end up looking a lot like this: last name, first name, title of book, city of publication, publisher, publication date. Okay. So for Jane Eyre, if I was using the actual book, I believe, oh, I have to look again because my brain doesn't hold information like it used to. All right. Last name, okay, city of publication, publisher, and publication date. So let's say we'll do, I'm just guessing because I don't have it here to look it up. So let's say it was published in New York. A lot of things are. Period, New York. Publisher was Dover. And 1990, well, 20, oh my gosh, 2020. Okay, we'll go with that. Really dated myself here, so double check it. So it's period at the title, comma, and then period. So period, oh, I missed that one. So see, okay, so that's pretty simple. Bronte, Charlotte, Jane Eyre, period, New York, comma, Dover, comma, 2020. Okay. All right, let's look at something harder. So we can come over here to web publications, because I know that we pulled a lot of stuff off of the web. Okay. Because online information can change or disappear, it's always a good idea to keep personal copies of important electronic information whenever possible. Downloading or even printing key documents ensures you have a stable backup. So this is going to be important for larger stuff that you're doing, not important for right now. But just be aware that this is a thing that we all do in academic and scientific circles. Okay. Include a URL or web address to help readers locate your sources, because web addresses are not static, meaning they change a lot. And because sometimes documents are stored in multiple places on the web, MLA encourages the use of citing containers such as YouTube, JSTOR, Spotify, or Netflix in order to easily access and verify sources. However, MLA only requires the www address. So eliminate all HTTPS, blah, blah, blah. So here are some common features you should try to find before citing electronic sources in MLA style. Not every web page will provide all the following information. However, so collect as much as you can. This is one of the biggest problems with online stuff, is like, who wrote it? Do you even know? Like, is this person a crazy person? So finding an author is really, really important to try to find when you're looking for stuff online. If there's an article, you need the name in quotation marks, title of the website, project, or book in italics. And then you can keep reading here. So let's go look here. Let's look at this example here. So author, period, title of container, self-contained if it's a book. Okay. Other contributors, translation editors, the version, etc. Okay, so if you were going to cite the Purdue Writing Lab website, the Purdue OWL family of sites, period. The Writing Lab and OWL at Purdue and Purdue U, comma, that's who published it, when 2008, comma, the address, owl.english, accessed when you got it. Okay. Now this one is a website that's an article about theory. Okay, and that was where they went, and they went there on this date. So kind of going back. So you'd go to where you got the article, right? You'd make sure you write down the day that you accessed it. And if it was, I mean, the day you're working your Works Cited page, it's totally fine to put that date, okay? Because it's still there. And then you're gonna figure out who published it and when, right? And that information hopefully is there somewhere. The title and the author. So let's apply that to, so this is more specific pages on a website. And this is for ebook. So if you had written, or if you use the Jane Eyre off of Project Gutenberg, then you're going to want to look at this information about how they cited it. Okay. So for this one, Silva, so this is when the ebook, like maybe on your Kindle or on a different e-reader. And I think this is going to be, again, okay, and here's a Kindle version of that. Okay, formatted for specific. So the MLA considers the term ebook to refer to publications formatted specifically for reading with an ebook reader, like a Kindle, or a corresponding web application. So this is a little bit different than just going on a website and reading it from the website. Did you know you can also cite images? We're going to skip that. Article in a web magazine. We don't have those. Article in an online scholarly journal. So you can see it's got all of these really, and this is kind of like reading rules for a game, which I hate, and so I'm sorry. But I love that they have the examples, because the examples really help you see it. So I don't want you to like worry overly about putting this together. I want you to do your best. Oh, you can even cite comments, because that happens these days. That's kind of fun. That was not a thing back when I was writing regularly. Okay, my computer's really starting to yell at me. All right, let's do the if poem, because let's see if I can pull this window down. Okay, so let's go to If by Rudyard. Oh my gosh, I had it right. Okay, so Poetry Foundation right here. All right, here we go. So let's see if we can find all that information we were supposed to have. Source, A Choice of Kipling's verse, 1943. Okay. This is, okay. So let's go over here and see if we can figure out which one this applies to. If my internet will scroll. Thank you, Ad. I don't need you. Okay. Not an ebook. Okay, a page on a website. This is a page. Fernando page on a website lists the author or alias if known, followed by an indication of the specific page or article being referenced. So we know the author, it's Kipling. We know the title, it's If. Okay. Usually the title of the page or article appears in a header at the top of the page. So follow this with the information covered above from the entire website. So we're going to have, instead of eHow right here, or WebMD, we're going to put the Poetry Foundation. Okay, so sometimes it's easy just to like copy this straight into your thing instead of flipping back and forth, which I'm going to do right now. All right, so Rudyard, Kipling, period, if, great. And then I need to put that period in to show that I'm done with the title. And then the website is italics Poetry Foundation. Okay, and there's a comma after that. We turn off the italics. Then I'm going to need the website, poetryfoundation.org. Hey, that's not too long. That's nice. Oops, wrong one. Be aware, okay, that's fine. It's not wanting to do that because it's too long, that when you paste things in, it's probably going to change your font and stuff. So unless you do a paste without changing the formatting. Just be aware. And then it says it wants me to put a period after that. eHow accessed January. Oh, look at that. It wants you to do it in the European style, not January 6th, but 6th of, well, it wasn't the 6th, today's the 19th. 19 January 2024, period. So that's how I would do that. Now remember, if it doesn't fit, it wants you to tab it. Didn't want to do that. Remember, I have to hit the enter button and then tab, and that's how I'm going to get over there. Okay. If you want to remove the formatting, it doesn't really matter. For me anyway, we're just going to go take that link off, and then that's how we want it. There you go. And that's how you do it. There's probably a way to make it wrap. I don't really care. Okay. Is that enough? So you're going to want to show me where you got these. I gave you the Alvarez essay. So if you're citing that one, you can just look for it yourself, because that's all I did. Alvarez, names, nombres. Hey, look right here. That's the one I use because it's purple. So this would be the information. That's the website. It says her name. We don't have any idea of when it was published though, which is okay. And then the access. Okay. So I probably should have given you a better copy, but that's okay. We're not writing academic papers. Okay, so that's the base of it. Remember to do this indentation hand. You also need to put things in alphabetical order. So we're going to want to put Alvarez up here. You know, we'll go ahead and cite that. Julia, period. The name of it is, so this is a shorter work, so it's probably going to be names, name bez, nombres, period, quotes, and then the next bit of information is the website. Actually, it's who's hosting it. Let's see if we can find from here. I don't know. So I'm going to leave that off if I don't know. And I'm just going to put the email and a period, and then the same information here, accessed, like date and time. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that I enter and hit my tab. So my tab's in. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure, yep. See, they both have to be tabbed. Bronte's good. Kipling's good. All right. And then you would just continue to do any other, make sure they're in alphabetical order. Make sure you're not adding an extra space in between. Okay. Make sure you're tabbing over and that you have as much of this information as you can get. And that's it. And you're done. Okay.